The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for the Loctite equipment overview. We're going to wait just another minute to see if anybody else registers. But today we'll be talking about Loctite dispensing systems like your equipment and motion control. So I believe you guys are in for a treat. And today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Michael Andrade, who's with our equipment group. I'll introduce in a minute. But just a few housekeeping items. There is a chat function that you guys should all, and gals, if any are on the line, have access to. If you want to submit a question, please feel free to use that function. We do have a couple of polling questions throughout the webinar today, so and I think we kick off with one, Mike, right off the bat, to see who's automated out there and who's not. But those of you who are familiar with Loctite know that we make adhesives and sealants and coatings for industry. Not a lot of people are aware that we make equipment for every adhesive system that we sell. So from a process standpoint and an automation standpoint, we can come in, well, from a manual standpoint in that regard as well. We have a piece of equipment that you can use to apply our adhesive in the right way, in a controlled manner that is properly set up for the particular adhesives that you're using. So we'll enjoy getting your feedback on the polling questions. Let's see. So I mentioned Mike Andrade. Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining today's webinar. My name is Mike Andrade. I'm the equipment product engineer here at Henkel. So I manage our equipment product line in North America as part of our global equipment group that offers equipment solutions to all the different regions that Henkel supports globally.
Wow. No small task. No pressure there, Mike. All right. As you know, we are presenting this webinar in conjunction with our very special distribution partner, Hisco. Loctite and Hisco have been partners in the industrial marketplace for many, many years, but Hisco has been doing their part since 1970, and they're a leading North American distributor of electronics and industrial materials. They feature a value-added service unparalleled in the industry, where they have local folks who will come visit you at your place of business to talk about adhesives and the equipment that Loctite sells. They also do documented cost savings programs over the years that saves customers millions of dollars. Hisco is very high-end in the fact that they deal with very complex manufacturing environments. They provide solutions, and that's where Loctite fits in like a glove, because our products fit that mold perfectly. The goal is to lower the total cost of manufacturing across the entire supply chain. They're 100% employee-owned, which gives them motivation to provide their signature fast, friendly service each and every day. So we're very pleased to be here representing this information with our partners at Hisco. Henkel Adhesive Technologies, on the other side of that partnership, it's all about what we can do for the customer and the innovation that we bring to the market. So again, the partnership with Hisco is very value added. We like to visit on site with our customers and provide a level of quality and service that's unparalleled in the adhesive industry. Our innovation portfolio is second to none. We've just come out with a brand new line of hybrid adhesives that is available through your local Hisco branch that combines the speed of an instant adhesive and the strength of a structural adhesive like an epoxy. So we have a lot of things that we could bring to the party as far as the industrial market and the use of adhesives and the application of adhesives is concerned. And now that I'm done with the P.T. Barnum part of the show, selling the services, we'll get on with the technology. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dave. So today we're going to be discussing some specific segments of our equipment product line. So we'll start with our dispensing systems, quick overview of dispensing, and a couple different types of systems that we have to offer in the market. Then we'll move on and talk about our light cure equipment, one of our core technologies that aligns well with our light curing adhesives. We'll talk about the difference between our LED systems and our UV bulb systems. Then finally, we're going to touch on our motion control systems and our automation capabilities that allow us to provide solutions to several different applications in various marketplaces and industries.
Here we go. Okay, well, thanks, Mike. And I had mentioned the polling question, so we'll start right off the bat. I'm going to launch this to all those that are on the phone. You should see it pop up on your screen. Question is, if you currently use adhesives in your manufacturing process, how many are manual versus automated? So if you just take a moment just to answer that question for us, we'd appreciate it. I see by my screen about 30% of us have voted. All right, great. About 50% of those on the line are manual. About 17 say some are manual, and then the rest are not. So thanks for. So I think I got that.
So that's good, because a lot of the equipment that we'll be touching on will be examples of solutions that can be used to move from a manual to a more automated process. So maybe you'll find some interesting information or ideas out of this presentation.
Cool. All right, let's go on with it.
All right, so before we get into dispensing equipment, we just want to touch on the two types of dispensing principles. So we offer equipment to dispense our adhesives in two main categories. The first, what we consider pressure time, and the second we call positive displacement. So pressure time are your typical things like a valve and a reservoir, where a adhesive is under pressure and you use it on a specific time to deliver amount of adhesive to a part or piece. You have several factors that influence it, such as your needle and opening, the pressure of that reservoir, and then the time of that dispense. So this process is very common in large areas of industry and manufacturing. It's typically a very cost-effective solution for dispensing adhesive, very common to be able to dispense in this manner using different types of equipment and technologies. So it's a very broad use of equipment, and obviously because of its cost effectiveness, it makes it easy to implement in many industrial applications. However, the downside of things of pressure time is they are influenced by external factors. So obviously, your pressure in a vessel can vary over the course of a production run. Viscosities of your products can vary over the course of a production run or from batch to batch. And all these factors can influence and change the amount of adhesive that's being dispensed with each cycle. So it might not be the optimal from a standpoint of precision or accuracy. So moving over to positive displacement, tends to be more cost or higher cost associated with the solution, but it's much more accurate. So this concept is we would take a specific or fixed amount of fluid. There's mechanical action that's applied to that fixed amount of fluid, and it's dispensed or displaced in order to dispense a specific amount of adhesive each and every time. So this is a much more higher precision opportunity, much more accurate and repeatable over longer periods of time. So for applications that require that level of precision, such as things like the medical industry, or if there's high costs of things like waste outside of a process, positive displacement might be a solution that would provide a customer with a much better and much improved process point from accuracy standpoint. So just some ideas when you're selecting your dispensing equipment, obviously what kind of questions you want to ask. So our technical staff really works with our customers to really try to identify what are the end goals of the process. How do you deliver a solution that's going to meet your production needs? So it starts at selecting the adhesive that's proper for the application, and then based on that adhesive, We look at various factors that are listed on this slide in determining what's the best piece of equipment. So things like what kind of chemistry are you using? What's your production rate? Are you doing small batches, large batches? Are you running 24/7? How much adhesives are you dispensing? All these factors are influenced in determining the best solution. Do you need a cost-effective solution? Do you need a high level of accuracy? So all those come together in trying to define a total solution. So this is just an overview of some of the questions that you'd be thinking about when trying to determine what kind of equipment solution you need for your process, or what questions that a typical application specialist would ask or would engage with you in determining what that total solution would be for your process. So now we're going to move on to some specific segments of the product line to give you an overview of what types of solutions we offer in those areas. But we just want to provide a brief overview of what our equipment product line here is for our customers. We have 6 main categories. The first, what we call, is handheld dispensing. So this is your most cost-effective solutions, bringing yourself from, say, a bottle that's being dispensed from a handheld style into a gun of some kind that's still used to maintain more improved accuracy, but at the same point you're using it handheld. So this is something where you would provide some improvement over just dispensing straight out of a bottle. It give you some improved performance, help your ergonomics, but on a part-to-part or dispense-to-dispense standpoint, it may not be the most accurate, but a very cost-effective solution for most customers. Then we move into things like dispense systems and controllers, which we have more for semi-automated or fully automated processes. So these remove really that handheld aspect of the dispensing and move to more a stationary mount application or a work cell location. These are typically integrated with things like our valves in order to dispense adhesives for applications. We also are able to take those dispense systems and integrate them with robots, and that would be called our motion control area. So that would be where we go to a fully automated process, where we take a combination of dispensing systems and robots, and this is the most highest precision applications that we would do. We're able to provide very complex bead patterns onto parts to deliver a high level of accuracy. Also, in order to support our product line, we offer a full line of light cure solutions and curing technologies in both the LED and bulb-based arenas in order to cure all of our light cure adhesive products. So we have a full line of light cure equipment to support our light cure adhesive products. And with all these product offerings, we offer a full line of consumables. So whether you're doing a handheld application in a 2-component epoxy, or you're dispensing a light cure product out of a syringe, we've got mixed nozzles and needles to support all those applications. So we can provide our customers with the total solution from the front end of the adhesive specification all the way through to selecting equipment and providing a final solution for the customer's process. So we're going to start and work through our dispensing equipment product line. So the first area we're going to talk about is our pressure time dispense systems. We're going to first touch on the syringe dispensers that we have to offer. So again, as we spoke briefly at pressure time systems, these are very cost-effective solutions to the marketplace that offer a very easy way into an automated or semi-automated process, where we're getting out of a handheld solution but into more of a stationary mount application that's to give you a little bit higher level of repeatability and accuracy. Good for kind of mid-range production and even some high volume production. So from a syringe dispensing application standpoint, we have 3 main products that we offer to our market. The first one is our precision syringe dispenser. So this is the highest performing syringe dispenser. The second one down we call our SD10. So this is kind of a mid-range syringe dispenser. And then finally our digital syringe dispenser on the bottom of the slide is our most cost-effective solution. So as you work down the slide, you work to kind of lower cost solutions, but you also lose some of the features and benefits. So we've highlighted some of these benefits and differentiators between these solutions. The top one, the main key performer, is that this allows you to detect any variation in your pressure on your syringe when you're dispensing. So this is a key point in determining accuracy. So this syringe dispenser would be used when you have a high level of accuracy that's needed to deliver adhesive. So it's a more cost-effective solution, or cost-prohibitive solution to integrate compared to the other two, but it provides much more accuracy and performance due to its ability to detect pressure variation, which is one of the things that influences dispensing out of syringes. The next system is our SD10. This is one of our mid-range systems. It offers digital time and pressure control also has the capability to store multi-programs within the controller itself. So it's really good for semi-automated or automated processes with the capability to store programs within that system and call those programs when they're needed. And then finally, our digital syringe dispenser is the most cost-effective solution. So this is the basic solution and one of our most common applications. Very cost-effective solution, very easily integrated into any kind of semi-automated or fully automated process, and very common in the industrial market. So all these syringe dispensers come together to really offer dispensing solutions for any application where you're using a syringe. It could be a handheld style application with that syringe, or it could be an automated process where you're mounting that syringe in a stationary environment, or even connecting it to a robot to dispense. But when you have an application where your volume usage requires the use of a syringe, or an adhesive application and a chemistry that requires the use of a syringe, these are typical and most common applicators for achieving the equipment solution for that process. So the next area we're talking about, still in the pressure time dispensing area, is what we call reservoirs. So this is an example of one of our core reservoirs in our product line. So a dispensing reservoir, with reference to a syringe dispenser, they're used when you're moving into higher volumes of product. So with a syringe, you're usually looking at somewhere in the range of 30 to 50 mils of product in a syringe for dispensing. In a reservoir, you're looking to implement a reservoir when you're purchasing a bottle of adhesive, something like a 1 liter bottle of adhesive. So you're in a much higher volume production environments where you'd implement a reservoir. These reservoirs are capable of basically any of our bottles, from a 250 ml bottle all the way up to 1 liter bottle, can fit inside this reservoir, and you could feed product out of this reservoir to a dispense valve to deliver that adhesive onto a part. So again, similar to the syringe systems, these reservoirs are very common. They can be easily integrated into any kind of stationary application, semi-automated system, or fully automated application where we would take a reservoir, combine it with a robot and a dispense valve, and provide a fully automated solution. So what's key about this specific reservoir is it is what we call a dual channel. So it has the capability of controlling 2 separate valves out of the same reservoir, or something like an actuator or a slide. So if you had a valve mounted to a slide, you could adjust or move the valve and control that slide off the reservoir, as well as dispense the valve. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. All the control on the reservoir is part of that reservoir itself. So you could set time, the time and distance and programming right on the control of the reservoir to give you some control. So this is a great solution for semi-automated processes that don't necessarily have a robotic or fully automated application, but you need some level of control for turning your dispenser on and off, and you could do that directly from this reservoir. So this is one of our most common solutions for larger volume adhesive dispensing out of bottles. So with a reservoir, the most common solution with a reservoir obviously is combining a reservoir with a valve. So here we have 3 examples of one of our core product line. These are what we call our diaphragm valves. These are our most cost-effective and some of our most robust solutions in the industry for dispensing our adhesives. So there's 3 on here, and these are the most common that are integrated with our reservoirs. We have one specifically designed for our light cure adhesives, one specifically designed for our cyanoacrylate adhesives, and then a 3rd valve that specializes in added moisture blocking for things like silicones and other moisture sensitive products. So these are examples of a core technology that would be integrated with a reservoir. Now all these valves, as we go, are considered pressure time. So while moving from a handheld solution to a reservoir and valve solution, that does improve things like you could set time, you could set dispense times, you could set pressures, and you can improve your accuracy, but you will still be subject to all those factors that we talked about in that first slide. From a standpoint of repeatability, as pressure variation and viscosity from product batch to batch can change, it can influence these dispensing. So as it gets you out of a manual process into a much significant improvement, it's not necessarily always going to meet all of your quality requirements, especially if you're under strict requirements and strict quality needs to meet your processing needs. So we do have, still under pressure time, we have higher level performance valves. So one example of that is what we call our stationary valve. So from our standard valves, or what we call diaphragm valves, these provide added features. One example is suckback feature that eliminates any kind of stringing when you're dispensing your product, so you can get a better bead pattern or dot when you're dispensing out of this valve. So that's an advantage over a standard diaphragm valve. Additionally, you have what we call double acting. So this valve has a double acting cylinder, which actually lets you adjust the open and close, the speed in which the valve opens and closes, which gives you some added process control when you're putting patterns on parts. So this is just a quick example of an improvement or another valve technology that we offer. Between our diaphragm valves and our stationary valves, it's just a small segment of all the different options, but these are some of the most popular valves that we would combine with our reservoir solutions for adhesive dispensing in our marketplace. So now that we've touched upon the main offerings that we have in our what we call pressure time, we're going to move over to the positive displacement, or we also call volumetric dispensing solutions. So these solutions are going to provide a significant performance improvement over our pressure times standard syringe dispensing or valve and reservoirs by implementing a positive displacement feature into that valve. So the first product is our VA20 volumetric valve. This is a new valve, one of the newer valves in our product line. Operates very similarly to the stationary valve that we saw on the previous slide. However, the one benefit over this is it specifically displaces in specific amounts of product with every time the valve cycles. So there's a chamber inside this valve that has a set amount of adhesive. And when the valve cycles, that set amount of adhesive is dispensed. So this valve is targeted for dot dispensing of very small dots at very high levels of precision and accuracy. So this is a great example of a valve solution that Henkel offers, and where a customer would need something with much more accuracy and repeatability. It might be a medical application, or it might be strict quality requirements, or high cost to scrap, where you could implement a valve solution that dispenses a very specific and very high accurate amount of adhesive each and every time. So you can see that the dosing capability is up to 12 microliters. So it's very small amount of adhesive that's displaced and applied to a part, and a very high level of accuracy and repeatability. The next volumetric solution we have is what we call our rotor pump system. So similarly to the previous valve, this is what we call positive displacement or volumetric. So it's actually a pump that we dispense, and it's got an auger inside of it. And with each rotation of the auger, a specific amount of adhesive is dispensed onto a part. So again, this is a volumetric solution independent of external influences such as pressure changes, time changes, and viscosity changes. And a very one of our highest accuracy solutions to the market for dispensing technologies such as light cure acrylics. So very common for customers who need a high level of repeatability and accuracy to move to a solution like this. And very similar to a valve, this pump can be fed from a standard reservoir. It can be controlled from the controller that's provided, and it can be mounted to any robot that we have. So it could be a fully automated process, or it could be used as a standalone solution. So as we walk through these pressure time solutions and volumetric solutions, really the idea here was just to get everybody an understanding that that as Henkel, our product line of equipment has a broad range of both kind of price points, repeatability and accuracy, and performance points, so that we can meet the needs of a broad range of equipment dispensing. A lot of applications might not need that high level of precision. They're looking for a more cost-effective solution. On the other end, some applications need a very high level of precision and accuracy, and they're willing, and it justifies a higher price in your equipment to achieve that performance. So we have a broad range of solutions that we can offer to meet the needs of all those market needs in the various applications that we see.
All right, so we got another polling question coming up. I'm going to launch that to you folks. Let's see. Okay, coming at you. Do you see an area in your manufacturing process where this could be of benefit? So if you all take a moment to answer that question, we'd appreciate it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, now that we've completed the overview of some of our core dispensing capabilities and technologies, we're going to move into our light cure equipment solutions. So, as you know, we offer several light cure acrylic adhesive products throughout our portfolio that can be used to cure a broad range of products through the industrial and medical markets. So what's critical with those products is the right equipment to cure that product as well, to ensure that that product is that adhesive is performing just as intended when it's being cured. So we're going to go through some of the different technologies that we have to offer that align with those adhesive products. So first, we're going to touch on our light cure equipment, our LED product line. So in the marketplace, light cure technology is moving very rapidly to using LEDs. Similar to your consumer bulbs are moving from incandescent to compact fluorescent and now to LED. The same technologies and concepts are applied here when we're talking about LED curing equipment for light cure adhesives. There's several advantages of these LED systems over our traditional bulb-based systems, primarily around your long life. So a 20,000 hour life of an LED compared to what might be a 2,000 hour life in a traditional bulb system. LEDs are instant on-off, so there's no warm-up time, which traditionally a bulb system requires warm-up time. Several environmental benefits as well associated with LEDs. They use a lot less power, so there's less energy consumption, typically a lower cost of ownership, and there's lower maintenance, so there's a lot less replacement bulbs or waste from replacement bulbs. So overall, an LED is going to last a lot, significantly longer than a bulb, and afford you a lot less issues with maintenance over time during your process. So we're going to start and go through some of the core technologies we'll offer in LED equipment. We have offered LED equipment for a very long time here at Henkel, and so if anyone's familiar with our product line, we had several new products launched this year, so it might be of interest to you to kind of take some notes on some of these new products that we'll be reviewing today. So this is the first, what we call our CL32 LED spot system. So this is a very cost-effective entry-level solution to get into LED curing technology. Anybody who is familiar with our curing technology, this system is taking the place of our old 7700 series handheld LED lights with significant improvements in intensity, ergonomics, and robustness. So this is a great solution to get into LED technology. If you're prototyping or starting up a process or solution, it's a very cost-effective solution. It's a $1,000 LED light, handheld, very easy to operate, battery powered or line powered. It could be mounted, it can be used in your hand, it can be mounted to a robot. So a lot of flexibility, a pretty strong amount of intensity too. So it has a good capability of curing our standard products that cure with LED technology. And it's also offered in multiple wavelengths. So we have a 365 nanometer and 405 nanometer wand system in this offering. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of performance for a very cost-effective solution. One of our newest products in the product line, and it's been very popular since it's launched. The next system, our new, what we call our CL28 CureJet spot system. So the the CureJet system has been in our product line for a very long time. So most customers, most people who are familiar with our product line are aware of the CureJet product line. It's been one of our workhorse go-to LED curing solutions for a very long time. So this year we launched the next generation of these CureJets. We call the CL28. So primarily it was a significant improvement in intensity. So you're looking anywhere from 30 to 50% intensity improvement in our visible light solution, and over 100% in intensity improvement in our 380 nanometer solution. So a significant improvement in power. This is one of the highest power LED devices in the market today. What additionally kind of differentiates the CureJet solution is what we call a wide area spot solution. So most spot devices have a very small spot size, so they're only able to cure a small diameter area. The CureJet has a very large spot size, so we still call it a spot system, but it has a much larger spot area. So it can cure something, an area that's almost the size of a quarter, which is significantly larger than a standard spot area that would only have something like a 6 millimeter large cure area, which is about less than half the size of the CureJet, probably about a quarter of the size in curing area. So this provides a significant improvement in flexibility. So a larger cure area for a spot system provides significant improvement in flexibility of what you need to cure, different size beads and parts that you need to cure. And the improved intensity of this CureJet system also provides the capability of you can mount this CureJet system farther away from your process, still achieve the same intensity, or you cure your products quicker by delivering more energy faster. So this offers a lot of flexibility, and the improved intensity offers a lot of flexibility over our previous CureJet models in curing products, mounting the equipment, and locating the devices so that you get your optimal cure with your process. So just like the old system, these new CureJets are still compatible with both our CureJet single and quad controllers, so there have been no change there. All we've done here is improve these lights to improve performance and capability of the technology. And so this is just a quick slide with all of our core technology, LED technology. We typically offer what we call a single controller, which would handle one head or one wand, and then we offer also a CureJet quad controller. So this you can connect up to 4 different CureJet heads, and you could adjust things like time and intensity of each head individually, and you could set programs for each of those channels to turn on and off in different sequences. So this quad controller gives you a little higher level of performance and capability when you're automating a curing process. So after we get to our CureJet systems, the next 2 systems we're going to talk about are traditional spot systems. So these are LED systems that we offer. The first is a CL10. So these are much smaller spot diameters than our CureJet, but this CL10 is a very cost-effective solution to the marketplace. So customers who are looking to move maybe beyond a handheld LED solution into something that's maybe semi-automated or automated, but still want a very cost-effective LED solution, our CL10 is one of the examples of that option. So it has a lot of the features of a CureJet from a standpoint of a single controller option, a quad controller that can be programmed. The quad controller be connected, 4 wands can be connected to that quad controller. These can be used as a stationary system independent, or they could also be integrated into an automated process. But it's much lower cost than a CureJet solution. So a very cost-effective solution. But again, with cost, we don't have the intensity that we have with a CureJet. So these are typically used with LED products that are very easy to cure. So we would call this an entry-level spot system that's often recommended with kind of easy to cure LED products and fast curing products for customers who wouldn't need a high levels of intensity that a CureJet can offer. Moving on to our next offering, and similar to our CL10, but we would call this kind of a next generation, is our CL25 LED spot system. So this is a fairly new product offering. We've been around for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And this kind of provides an excellent high intensity solution into a small wand system. So it's a significant improvement in intensity over the previous CL10 system we just reviewed. It has the capability of 4-channel control to connect up to 4 heads and independently control those heads, but is a smaller spot size than a CureJet system. So intensity levels are nearing a CureJet, but it's offered in a smaller compact solution. So this is a nice in-between solution because the small size of the LED heads themselves, as you can see in the picture, they allow you to fit those heads in very tight spots. So if you're in a tight production environment where a large CureJet head may or may not fit into the process where you need it, or you need a very small amount of adhesive tact, the CL25 is a great alternate option to provide a high level of intensity for curing, but allow you to have a kind of a wand or spot footprint that's very small and easily integrated into tight locations and tight spots. So this is another one of the key offerings that we provided in our LED line to outfit our LED line with proper solutions to allow customers to have multiple options in determining their final process that meets their applications and their production lines. So moving on, those were our what we would call our core spot systems. So outside of our LED spot systems, the next offering we have in our LED technology is what we call our LED flood. So we've had an LED flood system offered for several years. And this was upgraded this year into the next generation model, which we call our EQ CL30 flood. So the flood head itself has changed a little bit, a little more ergonomic, smaller footprint, but the significant improvement in intensity again. So we took advantage of those of the improvements in LED technology, and our new floodlights are putting out almost twice as much intensity as the previous model. So again, this gives you a lot more flexibility to use these technologies. So typically a flood would be curing a larger part than a spot system, or you'd be looking to cure something that's on a conveyor where you would line multiple floods next to each other, and the parts would be moving on a conveyor underneath the flood, and you would be curing those parts. So a floodlight offers you the opportunity to hit a larger area with high intensity light, and kind of for a different type of application than necessarily a spotlight would offer. The other option of a flood is our typical working distance. So a floodlight like this would typically primarily work at about 2 inches away from your part. So it gives you an opportunity to mount a flood at a reasonable distance away from your part when you're working with it. It might not deliver quite as much intensity as a spot system, but it allows you to be farther away from the part when you're working and operating a production line. So this is another one of our core LED technologies, a very popular system, and is often used in both kind of stationary applications or semi-automated or fully automated processes to cure large quantities of parts as they're being manufactured. And finally, one of the last key LED solutions we have is we call our CL34 line array. Again, this is a little bit of a niche solution. We've had them in our product line, and again, we upgraded this system as well to deliver about twice as much as intensity as our predecessor. Again, this provides, it's similar to a floodlight, but it provides a narrow band instead of a large area. So these are typically used in some conveyor applications and other niche industrial applications. So not as common as a spot system in floods, but another it's basically another package size or another option that can be used to integrate a process where other LED solutions might not be a full fit. So when you're looking to implement an LED solution, the majority of solutions in the marketplace are going to be using those LED spot systems, the CureJet, our CL25, our handheld, and either that solution or our LED flood solutions. Those are the vast majority of applications can be met with those. This just gives you another option as well as a potential alternative. So that completes the core LED equipment solutions that we have. So we're going to be moving on to some of our bulb technologies. So as we mentioned before, the challenges with bulb technology is with respect to LED is that they don't last as long, higher energy consumption, the bulbs have to be replaced more often. But they do serve a purpose because there are several adhesive chemistries in our product line that can't be cured with LED. So when you run into a solution where you can't cure a product with LED, you end up having to move to a bulb-based solution in order to deliver the proper curing. So our core bulb solution is what we call our CL15 UV wand system. So this is a light guide based system, operates very similarly to what we would call our LED spot systems. So it's a spot based solution with a light guide and a tip at the end. And this is our most common bulb solution that we offer for curing products that don't cure with LED. So high level of flexibility that's offered with this system. This system can be standalone or it could be integrated into a process, connected to a robot, or fully automated. So it offers a lot of capability. You can set time, you can set just intensity, you could a lot of different factors, integrate it to a PLC. So this is a very robust solution for a bulb-based solution. Offers a lot of capability and flexibility to curing products that don't respond well to LED. It offers a very high level of intensity as well. You can get up to deliver as many as 15 watts per centimeter squared of intensity at the point of the light source. So a very common solution for us in recommending products, adhesive products, when we can't use an LED solution. The next main category of our UV cure chambers and floods. So similar to our LED flood, we have offerings in the bulb-based arena that offer a flood type based curing. So again, for applications that don't cure well with our LED products, we move to these bulb-based solutions. So I'm not going to go through each one, but I just wanted to show you we offer various configurations here, different sizes and shapes and chambers that all use different bulb-based technologies to deliver different types of light to cure different products. So a lot of these have different cost points, using a different bulb light depending on the wavelength that's needed, and they're also different sizes and shapes so they can handle different size parts. So we have a full line of chambers and floods that we can use to integrate for customers who are looking to cure parts that don't respond to LED solutions as well. And then finally, we also offer light curing conveyors. So these are benchtop conveyors if a customer has an interest in a conveyor type solution, as well as some higher intensity light sources that can deliver very high amounts of intense light to parts. So these were applications that the conveyors are typically a mounted application, benchtop. Customers would push those parts through. And the high intensity light sources on the right are typically applications where customers would purchase these and integrate these into their own larger volume conveyor application or automated production line. So these are just to show you that we have a broader range of bulb-based solutions, because there are a lot of technologies in light cure out there that still require bulb-based application or bulb-based systems in order to achieve the proper curing of those adhesive products. So that finishes up kind of the review of our core light cure equipment technology. So the next category we're just going to touch on is motion control. So we're not going to get into a lot of detail on this area of robots, but we wanted to just overview for the group to make you aware of these solutions that we offer. We've touched upon it a lot, that a lot of our equipment can be integrated into robots. So we just want to give everybody a brief overview of those offerings that we have. So these systems, our robot line, our equipment product line is designed specifically to integrate with our robots. So if you look at any of our equipment solutions throughout our product line, syringe dispensers, reservoirs, light cure equipment, our dispense valves, these are all really designed to be plug and play with the robots that we offer so that we can provide a total solution to a customer that's very easily integrated. Often our customers will come to us and use us and our technical team for support in integrating these solutions for the first time. We can provide training capabilities and technical support in specifying the equipment. But these are typically solutions that we would offer to customers when we're trying to get them out of a manual process or an automated process and move them into a process that provides them a higher level of precision and accuracy, reduces scrap rates, and gets their production moving much quicker and faster in an automated environment. Okay. So here's a couple examples. One of our first core product lines, what we call our D-Series robots. This is our core robot offering. They come in many different sizes and shapes. So right in the center of the slide, you can see a benchtop robot that comes in 4 different sizes based on the size of the part that it can hold and the working area of the robot itself and how large of a pattern or a bead it can apply. We also have a gantry style robot that's in the top right of the slide, so that can be used to integrate into an existing conveyor and dispense onto parts that are already moving onto a conveyor. So our D-Series robots, this is our core product line, and again, they integrate with all of our equipment that we offer in the product line. Dispensers, light curing equipment, valves, reservoirs, syringe dispensers. And they can store up to 100 programs within the robot itself. So a very cost-effective solution for automating a process. So when you're moving into out of a manual or stationary dispensing into a robotic solution, the D-Series robot line is our core line, as it provides you the most cost-effective solution to move into an automated process that improves quality, performance, and reduces your scrap. So in addition to our core robot line, we offer what we call our A-Series robots and also what we call our SCARA robots. These robots are much higher performing than our core line in the sense that the A-Series robot allows you a 4th axis of rotation when dispensing on a product, and also Our Scare robots are a little different as they have a robot arm, so they have a much larger area. So they have a kidney-shaped dispensing area, which allows you to provide a lot of different patterns on these that a standard benchtop robot wouldn't allow you to dispense. So these are just some examples of some additional robot technology, kind of higher performing than a standard core robot, that allows you to put some more difficult patterns on parts and fixtures. It shows you kind of the breadth of the robots that we can offer and deliver and integrate with our equipment solutions to provide customers with a fully automated process. So again, just to touch on it, that was kind of an overview of our robot solutions. At Henkel, we offer a lot of integrated equipment solutions. So these are operated through our technical team or our TCS group, and they would look at a lot of the equipment that we have as a standard product line that we work through and how to adapt that and make it work for your process. So a robot and a valve may not work exactly as intended or exactly as you need it for your process, but our technical team and our applications engineers can work with you to adapt some of those solutions to meet your needs and your process. So there's a lot of expertise that we have in integrating and adapting our core product line to meet the need of our customer processes. And so some of the benefits of the automation, obviously we're talking robots and integration, is really why do we want to add that added cost? Well, there might be upfront costs associated with an automated solution, but those costs basically pay for themselves over in the solution very quickly from the standpoint of both, from performance primarily. You've got reliability of an automated solution. You've got higher outputs from a production standpoint. You can outperform your standard mechanical methods. You can reduce your failure rates. You can reduce your processing costs. And all of that pulls together to provide really a long-term value that pays for itself very quickly when you're moving from a standard manual process into a fully automated solution.
All right, great. Thanks, Mike. Got one more poll question. I'm going to launch that right now. Let's see. And the question coming at you folks is, would you like professional assistance to learn how this equipment could improve your current process? So that should be popping up in just a second. And then we'll look at any questions we might have, wrap it up, and get you on your way. Just a few more seconds, collect the votes. All right, great. Thanks everybody for contributing to the poll questions. We appreciate it. All right, well, we'll just wrap it up here. See if we have any questions. But there's a lot of resources available to you as customers of Henkel and Hisco. Obviously, there's websites that you can go and visit at Loctite.com. You can also call 1-800-Loctite. We have technical information teammates available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time that can answer all of your adhesive, sealant, coatings, and equipment questions. We also have a separate technical customer service department for our equipment group as well. And there's a website that you can visit as well.
And you can speak the 1-800-Loctite number. You could call that number and you can get directed directly to our equipment service department as well. So you can get that technical support right through that same number.
Awesome. Here's a map of all the Hisco locations nationwide. Just got to Google it and you can find your fast, friendly, service-oriented Hisco branch location near you. All right. I got a question that came in, Mike. It always seems to pop up during our equipment overviews, and that's, can I use competitive adhesive in a Loctite system? And what's that all about?
So the short answer is yes. Obviously, our equipment is designed based on the chemistry of the adhesive. So our equipment is compatible with competitive adhesives. However, we design and test all of our equipment specifically with the adhesives that we offer here at Loctite. So we know exactly what products and what chemicals are being used in our adhesives, and we make sure that the seals and the materials of the construction of the equipment are properly matched to those adhesives, so we're not damaging the equipment. They're designed for robust use. Fortunately, we can't guarantee the same amount of performance with alternate products or competitive products because we may or may not know what's used in those products from an adhesive, from a chemistry standpoint, but they would be compatible with any other competitor's products. But we'd encourage you to consider our products as well if you're looking at a Loctite equipment solution.
I would assume that using a competitive product, the warranty and everything else kind of gets a little murky there. But we do have a question from Vince. We appreciate your input here. Asking if we talk about the biggest challenges in application of a UV acrylic adhesive into 2/100ths. I think it's 2/100ths inch gap.
I'd probably like to take this question and send it to our technical team and have them get a better response for it. So I'd probably I'd ask some of our adhesive expertise to kind of weigh in on that. A couple ideas. So maybe we could take that one and get an answer and send an email back to them, because I think as part of this webinar, any questions that are entered, we can get back to those participants who asked the questions.
Great, Vince. We'll reach out to you on that.
So there was another note I see too, that a question about the handheld light being more robust than the 7700.
Yeah.
That was a key piece in the design of the new system. So the technology that's used internally to the unit itself, we are seeing significant robustness and performance. We're also seeing significant improvement. You're looking at 2.5 to 3 times the intensity out of the new handheld light when compared to our previous 7700 model, and much more ergonomic, easier to handle, and smaller in weight. So we hope you guys see the same performance, but that was one of the key pieces in redesigning that offering.
It would seem that if you're using the newest technology to increase the intensity, to upgrade the equipment, that you'd add a lot of cost to it. But
no, the new handheld unit is the same exact price point as our previous 7700. So the goal was to be able, the target of that solution is to be a very cost-effective solution to the market to implement light cure technology in their process very quickly and easy. Again, for small part manufacturing, prototyping, and maybe to kind of work your way up as you're evaluating light cure, or even in some full production applications where it warrants it. But our goal was to keep that to provide added value to the customer, robustness and performance, while maintaining the price to the market.
So there's a Loctite equipment solution for every application, for every budget.
There is, and so our equipment product line is designed around our adhesive portfolio. So we could pretty confidently say that almost every adhesive chemistry that we have in that adhesive product portfolio can be dispensed and cured with our equipment products.
Awesome. All right. Well, 1-800-Loctite. Call your technical information team today with your questions. We'll reach out to Vince on his question, and we do appreciate everybody's attendance today. We know your time is valuable. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.